Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated on any or all of those platforms. It really does help build what I'm trying to build here. And thank you to everybody who popped in on the happy accident, but accident lives in the last couple of days. I love and appreciate you all, you know that. And to the new subscribers, the new people that were coming in, it was awesome to meet you too. So I'm putting out as much free content as I can, and this is the daily energy reading for the 6th of August 2020. So collective stage first. Use the Ramses deck again, just with the normal Rider-Waite or type of. So the first card being the Five of Swords. Now in this card, if you see, there's this guy that is in charge. Obviously he's got a clipboard looking important. Now there are these other guys on the floor, two with white feathers, and swords are depicted as bows in this deck, and so we've got the 5 bows not able to be used. They're sitting a little bit away from these guys who've obviously got their hands tied behind their back, figuratively and literally speaking. And so they can't get to these bows. No longer can they arm themselves with these bows and protect themselves with these bows. These two with the white feathers, it feels like I'm looking back in time with this card, and that ancient Egypt, you know, there was a time when the hijack started, I feel, and I've had knowings about this, and then I've heard some really inspirational people speak along these lines. And there was a time when, you know, the matriarchal system within ancient Egypt was hijacked. It was taken over. And if we look at today and you wonder, well, how would that happen? We obviously see from the things that have been built there way back then, the type of technology and knowledge that must have taken. For me, it isn't anything but advanced. It's everything but not advanced. It is a super advanced time. It feels like after this hijacking, we degressed rather than progressed, to me, for the visions that I have, the knowings that I have deep down inside. And so it feels like that this hijacking, we're looking at that space and time again. As the ancient Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, not even Egyptians, in ancient, what we now know as Egypt, they had much more knowing about the fact that, you know, it's not linear time. Everything is cycles within cycles within cycles. So it feels like when I look at this card, I'm a little bit blown away, to be honest, because this means this is a day where we do have to really harness our divinity and our sovereignty, because it feels like we're back in that moment in time, in that cycle again. And so the hijacking of the land, of the knowledge, because swords are knowledge, swords are intelligence, swords are knowing, that intellect, that deep knowledge, that ancestral knowledge passed down from generation to generation. And it feels like that these two good guys for me in these white feathers represent them being caught up with the crowd, so to speak. These hijackers came in, and I want you to picture this at this moment in time too. These hijackers came in, and because the majority were complacent in not keeping their divinity, their knowledge, their sovereignty, their knowing, their foundation, because they got complacent, unfortunately, even the people who remember the pure knowledge and the true interpretation of it, got caught up and they also have their hands tied behind their back. And now this guy is taking a record of them. And so to me now, bringing it back to the part of the cycle that we're in now, is that when this happened, let's just say this first. When this happened, all of a sudden, slowly but surely, but very methodically, and in the grand scheme of things, very quickly actually, not slowly but surely, knowledge was taken out of the generation to generation. It was taken away, and slowly but surely, more and more of this crowd, if you were to multiply them, more and more of them would lose their white feathers, more and more of them would lose their knowledge. And therefore the ones that still had the white feathers, it was too late. They couldn't save it. They couldn't pull it back because they were too low in numbers about knowing the real meanings to the symbolism, the real way that the divine feminine, the matriarch, holds up the space and time for the action to be taken by the divine masculine energies. So this, as much as they could shout about it and, try and guide people back to their knowing, to their knowledge, to their divinity and their sovereignty, by that time, some parts of life would have been good. Some parts of life would have meant maybe you didn't have to initially work so hard for the crops. Maybe you didn't initially, you enjoyed not getting down and dirty on the ground with your seeds for a little while. And so that's how it happens, isn't it? Like in a narcissistic relationship, a narcissist doesn't just come along and hit you in your face on the first date. A narcissist doesn't just come along and hit you with the fact that I'm going to control you, I'm going to make you feel like shit, I'm going to put you on an emotional roller coaster, 1 minute building you up to the hilt and giving you everything you could ask for and even what you don't ask for, and then I'm going to drop you. I'm going to drop you so hard, so fast, that your brain isn't going to be able to catch up with your body. And by the time you are, I'm going to build you up again. And I'm going to keep doing that until you really forget who you are. And until you feel so trapped in a system of this relationship that you don't know how to get out. And so that is where we are today. In that over time, this complacency has set in. This not knowing, because this is clarified by the 7 of Cups. And so this not knowing, this confusion, there's a little bit of each thing in too many cups here. This man doesn't know which one to look at, which one to grab. And even if he did, does he remember what the symbol of it means? Does he remember what that knowledge is behind whatever is in that cup? Behind whatever that symbol is? Or is he now just surrounded by all of these distractions, the propaganda, the different laws that are being passed, the way that people are acting, the fear-mongering, the gaslighting, the free gifts, the rioting, the division, so many things to concentrate on except knowing again, remembering again your real powers, remembering that it is only 1 or 2, relatively speaking, against a crowd of people that are at the core are good people, and that some people are here and they haven't remembered yet what they came here to do, what kind of powers and what kind of light and what kind of compassion and balance and wholeness they are capable of. And that they came here to express that and share that and be part of the numbers again that can take over this 1 or 2. And so it really does speak of getting a hold of your emotions, not allowing your emotions to be your weakness, not allowing your emotions to be something that this system and the various systems that come there of it, you know, not to allow them to know you so well, the way that you've been trained to be, so that your emotions are in control of you and not you channeling them. And so with that, you know, the propaganda does work, the fear mongering does work, the gaslighting does work, the needless use of masks does work. All of that works, because if you haven't got balance and control enough over your emotions to be able to embrace them, yes, feel them, yes, but not have them at a point of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years worth of the narcissistic relationship, so that you've forgotten that actually your emotions were never meant to control you. You channeled them. That is part of your power. That is part of the biggest human power we can have. And then the special, different individual powers that we all hold within at varying different frequencies and varying different methods. It doesn't matter, but you must remember who you are, and you must remember to not allow these to be your weakness. When we talk about weapons against humanity or agendas against humanity, all of the atrocities are awful. All of them are devastating. Pedophilia being the worst, in my opinion. But the most effective, in my opinion, weapon that has been this system's best friend is them getting to know how to roller coaster us to the point where they know our emotional drives and triggers better than we do. At this point, a lot of people's emotions are just reactionary, and that won't do. We can't change things for the better and really change things for the better, i.e. the children being at the core of this. Finally, enough people are hearing enough of the truth to know that these systems were built to do this, to hurt children. If that doesn't grab you and want you and make you want to learn how to channel your emotions rather than they channel you, then I don't know what will. Because a long time ago, too many people let these two men with the white feathers, with the knowledge, with the knowing, they let them down because they got complacent. Initially they wanted, what they saw was an easier life, externalizing that was in charge of them, externalizing their sovereignty onto other people outside of self. And so that it's a huge combination of cards there, the two of those alone. And then we go to the second card, and here it is, the Ace of Pentacles, that this reality that we're in right now is an illusion. It is the Seven of Cups. Under that illusion is this Ace of Pentacles, the true abundance, the true abilities that we have to really be at one with this earth that we're on, this realm, this Mother Earth. Whatever it might mean to you, at the end of the day, it's a divine feminine energy. It's a being that creates life every second of the day. So to really see past this illusion and really see what abundance can really look like, and the colours and the blessing of the sun to do so, shining on your back while you're working and working at something that really means something, that really gets you feeling whole, gets you feeling balanced, gets you feeling good. To clarify that, we've got the Judgment card. So the first major arcana, the only major arcana, so again that would speak to me of that mainly this is your window, this Judgment card, because major arcanas are more impactful, more definite energies. And so, but the rest of it being really, again, back to that beginning of the cycle where we got hijacked, back to decision time, make or break time. And so this is a huge window, and this is why many people are finding each other. Many light workers, if you want to call us that, people are of a higher frequency that want better for all. And so this judgment card, this major arcana, is this trumpet call. It's this trumpet call from the heavens, from the above, from the planets, as far as I'm concerned. And it's a cosmic call across all nations to say, rise up. You need to remember this is a golden opportunity to create a reality that is so much better, particularly for the children. Remember what you came here to do. Remember what your soul's path is. And you don't need to know it in your entirety. You just need to accept that you're a hell of a lot more powerful and a hell of a lot more important to the collective all than you fooled yourself to be, or that you've allowed yourself to be fooled to be. And we've all done it. And so this King of Wands comes up at the end, and this is the divine masculine energy, this authority, but it's a new authority. It's really knowing thyself, really taking dominion over your world, over your divinity, over the reality that you will live in. This king doesn't do anything but that is pleasurable, and anything that is good for the all. Is the father. He wants good for the sons and daughters. He wants good for anybody around him. He wants good for anybody that he serves as a king. So you might find in your family or on the collective stage, we start seeing kings like this. Now, they're going to be passionate with the knowledge, and don't write people off just because you haven't remembered yet. Listen to them. If it resonates here, take it. If it's for the children, if it's for the greater good, for the collective, take it. But have an open mind to what really this reality can be and what it is and how connected we really are to the all. So look out for spiritual messages that are full of passion, full of knowledge, and that are quite authoritarian in their delivery this day. And so we've got the Nine of Pentacles after this. Through this wisdom, through remembering himself, through knowing to burn that fire, to really spark up, to become the master again, to become that warrior again, whether you're male or female, or whether this represents a male in your life if you're female, or vice versa if you're in a same-sex relationship, whatever it might be to you, whether this is within somebody outside of self and you, but in particular, make it mean definitely within you. Light this fire, because there we've got this divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy with this luxurious, fertile, abundant coin. This crop that's growing, this build-up of profit, this build-up of abundance and sustainability, but in a new way. So again, bringing it back to people's individual lives, this speaks of don't be hemmed in also for business. If you've been thinking about too many things at once and stopping yourself from getting anywhere, remember who you are, take a leap. What have you got to lose? If anything, this lockdown, this time of reset and recalibration has shown us that the system that was made out and advertised to us and played to us to be oh so definite, work for the man and work your ass off, only just survive for a lot of us, and then, you'll be okay, at least it's definite. Well, actually, no, it's not, because the minute that doesn't work for them, the minute people are getting too close to the secrets of the children and what happened and various other things, then businesses get shut down. People lose their jobs, no matter how definite it was sold, while the globalists make trillions. in profit. So remember, see what is happening here, that the system is not for the all. It really isn't. And it certainly serves the most abusive, nefarious deeds. It fuels them, it profits them, it floats them. It allows them to happen one way or the other. So be brave with the business ideas that you've got, for the way that you remember things being done, because it's time to go back in time. Because I truly know and feel, as far as my remembrance goes, as far as some of my visions go, that we were using crystal energy. We were using sunlight coming through the pyramids with big crystals and bouncing it off the walls. I'm not a scientist, I'm not even a mathematician about which degrees, but I know that they were turned on big stones. I've seen it. Clean energy like that, clean water, cleaning it with UV. Why have we still got chlorine and in our pools and fluoride, as well as all the other things, antibiotics in our water? We don't need that. There's 2 swimming pools close to me that literally sterilise the pool continuously with UV light. And it really works. You don't get stingy eyes. They're the cleanest pools. And so different ways of thinking. Be brave and be bold and take that step, because you know what? You've got no better time to do it. Don't even be afraid of failing, because really, you're not going to, if this resonates with you, but really, blame it on COVID. They're blaming everything else on COVID. So if that's what's going to take the fear away from you and let your brain allow you to take those steps, to take that action, like that King of Wands, to get to your abundance, and not only get to your abundance, but really serve others with that abundance, then, blame it on COVID if you fail. You won't, but if you do, nobody's going to notice, because right now they're making people fail, no matter what these people do, no matter what these businesses do. So personally, to bring it back down to the individual, this is basically as the collective. Remember who you are. Know that it's rise up time, and not in ways that they would expect, that usually they deliberately inspire through hooking into our emotions and us not being able to control our emotions. No, do it in a different way. The wisdom will come to you of how it is for you to work, to help be a part of this reset, this recalibration, to bring in this abundance, a new way of doing things, this new pentacle, this new earth, quite literally. And so, again, it's pretty much what I said before with this King of Wands, in that, is the fatherly figure. So if you're the father of a family, or even if you're the father in a friendship group, that's just your energy. You need to really step up with it now. If you're a single mother, and some of you are that are going to be listening, it's for you to, for some of you to find somebody outside of self to be that divine masculine. I'm not saying go catalogue shopping for a partner, but some groups, some activities that have quite a masculine tutor, martial arts maybe, if they've opened up again in your area, but finding a way to bring that divine masculine energy into your field, particularly if you have children. For other single mothers, it's going to, and other females, but in particular, for some reason, picking up single mothers, spark that divine masculine within. But you do that by first and foremost honouring your goddess, honouring your divine feminine. Take time. It's been so stressful right now for reasons that are being made up, in my opinion. Not that it doesn't exist, but like the cold does, all of the numbers, I don't need to go into that, but take time out again. Remember who you are. Do your nail varnish, whatever you've been putting off doing or just forgot you used to do even. Have ceremonial baths. Find your luxurious goddess, your fertile, abundant goddess within. Your divine masculine spark right up. And they'll start to awaken each other within, which will be a beautiful thing. And if you have children, it'll help with that. The children will react well to that. So we've got the Hanged Man on the bottom of the other deck. And so these guys actually, again, they've been shackled because they lost their perspective. They started to see the projection of the perception of those that hijacked them. And so, working for the man. And so we see now that on this sort of hieroglyph on the back, that this larger being crushing down on these smaller men. These aren't smaller men, but obviously the artwork's being made to be depicted to depict that. And so these guys need to do the hangman. They need to see it from another perspective, to see that yet again, there's only one man that seems to be there that's in control, and many of them, and they're free enough to walk around, to find a different way to look at things, to see, to initiate yourself with your real power and your real knowing and the real grit that we have within. On the bottom of the other deck is the Seven of Pentacles. So we've gotten this far. What a lot of fears are here is that a lot of people are afraid, like through any narcissistic relationship that's lasted any time at all of a sudden you start to just settle for just this Seven of Pentacles rather than this abundant Nine of Pentacles because of fear. You've gotten so dependent and so knowing of working under this system, but yet there being a glass ceiling on your earnings, on the kind of work and return you can get in on that work that you can do. That there's almost a fear, like in a narcissistic relationship, even when you come into terms with the fact that this won't do, there's much more out there to be had. Fear keeps you caught up in a system. Empty promises from politicians keeps you caught up in a system. Again, bringing in that Seven of Cups, that not knowing thyself enough to just take a risk, take a bet on yourself first and foremost, and the collective will surely reap dividends of that. So that is the reading. Very, very powerful. The energy is like, come on, wake up, snap today. And so take it on board. It doesn't mean that you have to go out there and go into that Seven of Cups and try and do. Start always with the inner grounds and work your way out. That's where you find that divine feminine goddess, that divine feminine God. That's where you find that sovereignty first. That's where you find that divinity first. And it reflects outwards, not the way the system's been set up for far too long, where it's always from outside to in, and then that praying to the outside for what? For you to become who you really are. You have to start from within to do that, not externalizing it. So a very powerful day, very, very powerful day. I wish you all well on it. I wish you all wholeness and balance. If you'd like a private reading with me or any energy work or any spiritual guidance, you can get in touch with me with the details below. Hit me up on my Facebook page, True Divine. And until tomorrow, unless I can pop in later, much love. Mwah.